Hi everyone, my name is Megan Diaz-Easley. I am the media director of Crit Media. And this is our very first episode of the Crit podcast, and we are here with Woody Sharp and Alex Kalinowski of Fish and Game.
Hi, I'm Derek Easley, your guest host today. I'm very thankful to be here and looking forward to an interesting conversation with these gentlemen. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming. We're very excited to have you, Woody and Alex. So right off the bat, can you guys each just tell a little bit about your background and how you developed an interest in fishing and hunting?
Oh, me first? Okay. Hi. Like I said, my name's Alex. I'm originally from Colorado. And my interest in fishing and hunting, and just natural resources in general began when I was really little. I loved watching shows like The Crocodile Hunter and,
Nice.
Animal Planet, and I wanted to follow a career with that. So I went to school, learned all I could, graduated with a bachelor's in fish and wildlife biology at Colorado State University, and started putting in for jobs. It was peak COVID season when I graduated, so it was rough at first, but then I found these guys here at Crit Fish and Game, and they gave me a job, and now I'm here.
That's awesome. It's very cool. And how about you, Woody?
Us guys, huh? Anyway, yeah, I just grew up here. I'm a native of this tribe. So for me, all it was is just as a child, that's what we did. We fished, we hunt, we enjoyed the outdoors. But getting in this career, I was in law enforcement originally for a while. And a good friend of mine told me that, hey, why don't you come on over? So after a couple of years, I pondered it. So ever since then, it was a good job because I was able to get out. I explored more. I've seen the changes as years went by. Roads that were developed that weren't there before. We used to walk, and we used to go to the brush. But yeah, it inspired me more. I left, and then I went to Indian Gaming. Left there, and there was a job opening, so I got it again, and it progressed. Went to a point where we got to develop more for the community. That's what we're trying to do now. In fact, that's what we are doing. We're updating stuff. We're trying to make more, how would you say it, notice out. We got our website up, so, the people
Nice.
that usually come and hunt and fish from the previous years, now they don't have to come in because we're moving up, and in the place here. So we got an online website to where they can buy their permits. So less traffic in the office, more for the individuals to buy online to just go out and not have to come up to Parker. The only reason they come up to Parker now is to buy what they need for essentials. But that's what I liked about doing this job, is to progress and just to keep things going. And now where we're at, we just keep going for the future. That's the way we can get our youth involved in it. In fact, the Youth Day is coming up, and we're going to have a few, and we're going to show them exactly what we do. It's not all driving around, as Alex can attest, because now he knows carpentry. He knows cement work.
Oh, yeah.
We do work. And we're building ourselves a new range, which will be unveiled hopefully later on this month in June. And then also we got a Blythe Boat Club going where we can get the youth involved in that. When I was growing up, the boat club was there, and I seen it was mainly by Riverside County, I believe, and they had it all those years. I never went down there, but seen it from the Arizona side. They were all having fun. They went abandoned, so now that's what we're developing to bring our youth back, to take them down there. And if another department wants to take it over, that's fine with me. We were there just to keep the transients out, to keep the trash out, and to make it a beautiful place to go. Well, stole Trump's words, but anyway, yeah, we're making stuff better. We're working with the preserve, and that preserve, I remember when it was coming up. In fact, it was in the 80s here, and I just got out of the Army, got on the police department, and I noticed that the Patch family said, yeah, let's do this. And that's one good thing I like is I like people that do things. I do not like procrastination or whatever, and that's me also. Just make it, and now you see what it is. So as far as growing up through this reservation, I remember going along the drain ditches and being able to sneak up on tons of duck and watching them fly just to scare them. Now you can't really do that because we do not have the amount of wildlife that we did back then. So that's why Alex, myself, the Department of Water Resources, whatever, we're trying to bring back those wetlands so we can bring the wildlife back. We've got a small herd of, or how'd you say, a flock of sandhill crane. We're part of a flyway. Our idea is to bring them back more and more. The major ones are down there in the south part of the state around Tucson area, Alex?
Yeah.
That's correct, yeah. So they can have all of these hunting opportunities because there's thousands, millions of them. Here we got a flock, and we're part of the flyway. So when we do open it up, we're only going to do 2 birds instead of 3 because we got to find out who the interest is, how many birds we got, what's to take, and then we can regulate it from there more. The same way with our bighorn. In those days, when I was growing up, sandhill crane used to be, I'd imagine, just like how it is down there in Tucson area now. They would be flying over, going back north, and you can just hear them, for days on end as they were making their migration routes back. We don't have that, but we want to try to do that. So some of the elders on the reservation here would probably say, oh yeah, which is, you see the deer out there in the fields. Or not the deer, but the goose, Canadian goose. They'd be in the fields. There's very few of them left. When I was growing up, we used to irrigate our fields. There'd be tons of them. We want to try to bring that back. So
Nice.
from where I grew up with having an abundance of wildlife, it just gradually went down. But we want to try to bring that back up through regulation and just proper management. That's why I brought Alex on board. We need somebody to do that, and this is the young man that can do it, and he is doing it. So from going up as a snot-nosed little brat all the way up, seeing animals here, seeing the ecology in itself change over the years, the decades, and what I liked about growing up was that everything was there. You see it. And it's kind of sad that now there's not really that much left, but through proper management and stuff, we want to bring that back, at least to a steady incline over the years so people can enjoy what we have here on this reservation. Animals on the preserve. What we see normally is right now, when you're on the highway, you'll see quail. And right now they're in their breeding season.
Oh yeah.
So there's small ones that you can barely see. They're really small birds. And then you'll see the teenage ones that are smaller than the adults. But what you'll see practically now are what do they call those, the mid-range? They're like the kinds that you got the other day.
Oh, the
Hatchlings.
the hatchlings.
They're about maybe a month old, wouldn't you say? So they're good size. And that's what's running around now. Of course, the rabbits, tons of them. You get one rabbit, you get 12 of them, during breeding season. So they're always there. We got the deer, we got bighorn, we got, like I said, the sandhill crane. We've got the Canadian geese, Brandt's goose, snow goose. We got various kinds of them. As far as other mammals, we do have, of course, the bobcat. There's one in the back of my house. He comes every now and then. You got, of course, dove, white wing, and mourning. There's several animals. Wherever you go hunt somewhere, we probably got them here. Except for our lone bear that strayed in one year. So
Really, where was he from?
who knows? Probably we're guessing when they had the wildfires up in Flagstaff area, it chased them down. But we do have bighorn sheep. They're there. They're obviously watching people. If you just sit there and just look around, he could probably see you. But what gives him away was once he turns his head, then it's almost like, oh, that guy's been there all this time.
Wow.
We did have two of them up there in the hayfield right off Second Avenue in Mojave. Two full-grown rams, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got pictures of them, and so they do come and go. Not only on the south end, but also here up towards Finger Mountain. Mule deer are abundant. We do have a youth season that we open up for non-tribals, and a regular buck season that are tribal member only. So there's several more. Alex, you want to, if I forgot whatever or left out any animals?
Yeah, you got the majority of them. We also have a number of endangered species within this region. The most common, well-known one is the desert tortoise, the Sonoran desert tortoise. And we also have the yellow-billed cuckoo and the willow flycatcher, though I haven't seen a cuckoo in my 4 years being here, but I know that we're in their range, their historical range. We also have the Mexican garter snake. We're in their range as well. And for other endangered species, there are the native fish that are endangered in the river as well, those being the bony-tailed chub, the razorbacks, and the razorback sucker.
Wow. You guys have badgers too? I heard there's badgers out here.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of badgers out here.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't want to get tangled up with them.
No, they're mean.
Yeah, so we do have other programs, and I believe that on the website we do. Alex did make a video about rattlesnakes. So
Nice.
most of the times we get the calls are in the spring and then in the fall. People in the springtime, they clean up so they disturb where the rattlesnakes are, and then we get the calls. Fall time, when they're also cleaning up or organizing for the fall, they'll go into crevices. So those are the two times when we get the major snake calls. Obviously, in the summertime, we don't get too much because it's too hot for the rattlesnakes to be out, or any kind of snake for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
In our brochure that we do have on our website about rattlesnake training and stuff, it does say if it's over 93 degrees or so, was it, that snakes, you rarely see them out. And the only time that you see them out generally is when they're disturbed. And that's when we get the calls. So we have that. Then we have a tortoise adoption program that we're running. And it falls just in line with the state. So whatever the state says, we piggyback on that because there's no use having a separate set of rules and regs. We just label it as ours. It's
That makes sense.
yeah, it's what do you call, how do you say it? It's just a cover anyway. I mean, whatever they say, we follow them.
Nice.
And whatever we say, they generally follow what our rules are because we are a sovereign nation. We do have our traditions with turtles. We have our traditions with roadrunners also, with the hawks and stuff. So it's a give and take. It's sharing of information between Arizona and also California game and fish. They understand.
Very good. Now you said we wanted to get that again. You were saying that the elders had a certain saying regarding animals, or was it deer or geese you were talking about?
Oh no, I just I wanted to make sure that I said the right one. It was Walk was the deer. Yalla is the goose. So when I was talking about earlier, I'm just getting, like I said, getting over a cold and I like muffled. I couldn't really understand which one how it sounded, but with the goose, that's what that term was. Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Tell us if someone's completely ignorant to what you guys do. What does the Fish and Game Department do?
Fish and Game Department, we enforce regulations on reservation. We just manage wildlife. We manage the ecology. We manage the water. How it's used on the reservation, and also pollution. The hunters when they come in. Hey, it's a take your trash out type deal, because we do enforce the sanitary laws. It's trash. Whatever you pack in, you pack out. If you don't, then you'll get cited. We do the OHV regulations also. We do camping enforcement. We do assist other law enforcement agencies. We do assist the fire department, Environmental Protection Office. That's where we work together cohesively. One big thing is the camping. We always get complaints. Hey, there's a camper here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, do they have a permit? Go out and check if you're a business owner. Well, if they're not, our guys run up on them, and then that's where we do the checking. And then one thing can lead to, if there's a violation, one violation can lead to several other violations. And then these individuals may not know. That's why we say, okay, here's regulations, here's how you're supposed to handle yourself. And generally 99.9% of the time they're cooperative. It's that 0.1% that, we have to deal with, which is far and few between. So
How popular is camping on the reservation?
right now it's pretty popular. But I do have to mention though that since our camping fees went up, it's kind of like dwindling down, but you still have the grunts and the grumbles, but people still pay.
All right, Alex, could you please tell us about your efforts for wildlife conservation?
So our efforts for wildlife conservation right now are twofold. One is wildlife conservation through education, specifically education of the youth. We really want to foster a understanding and appreciation for natural resources and wildlife within our youth, and we do that through activities such as the Youth Fishing Day, youth hunts, and other public outreach events. We have gone to the high school here as well as the high schools up in Lake Havasu to not only promote opportunities down here at CRIT for individuals who might be interested in a career in fish and game, but also anyone who's interested in natural resources at all. The other portion is like Chief Sharp said, actual physical labor, mostly with the installation of new wetlands, the restoration of current wetlands, and setting aside areas for wildlife to shelter and rest, as well as feed. So we have the preserve just down the road from here. We want to install more preserve-like areas along the river, and we also want to install wildlife waters. This is all way off in the future. The scope of wildlife restoration and conservation is measured in decades. So this is all kind of just getting stuff off the ground and to get the ball rolling.
Nice.
But those are the twofolds: education and land work, or how I would categorize those two.
Very good. What wildlife and recreation laws do you guys enforce the most in your department?
I guess that's me. Generally, just during the hunting season, hunting and fishing is usually what we enforce most of the time. During the race, when they used to have a race here, it was OHV laws that we would enforce, and camping. Like I said, if they camp, they have trash. So it also is littering that we enforce. So mainly those three, other recreational stuff, the water stuff. Our boat's not working right now, so we don't really enforce watercraft laws at this time. But in the future, we will. Yeah, we just need to get some funds to buy us a new motor for our boat.
Let's get right on there.
Yeah, right on top of that, boss.
You spoke about this a little bit, but if you could expand on Youth Fishing Day and then maybe also touch on your Junior Warden program and why it's so important for you guys to have outreach to the youth.
Okay, the state has their Take a Kid Fishing Day. It's very successful. So it originated when we contacted the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Hey, do you have extra fish, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they gave us, I think, 1,000 extra trout about 3 years ago.
This is about 1,500 trout.
1,500 trout. So we started with that on a Saturday. It was popular that it's still going to this day. And what we want to do is we want to get youth more involved in fishing, know what's out there, know where to go, learn the backwaters, learn anywhere along the river, just go out and have fun. There's other things to do if you're not sports, how would they say it, if you're not well inclined in this
Right.
sport, there's other sports you can achieve your goal at, and one of them's fishing. The other one's hunting. The youth hunt for the deers, we have children of adults that hunt regularly. They go with them. So I know they hunt out there, so this is given opportunity for them to hunt here on the reservation. Get your hunter's safety card. go through the class, which we do offer now, and just have fun. I mean, we need to get these kids, to do something else in their spare time, and this is one of them. But I know Megan's been down there to 12 Mile this past one. I mean, they went from a small group of people that showed up to a large amount of people the last time. They come and go throughout the morning. So it looks like it's a steady amount of people, but when you look, cars leave, cars come in. We've actually had people drive off of the street asking what's going on. And said, oh, it's a youth fishing day. It's free for kids. So they're all like, oh, geez, what do I have to do? I said, just go up to the thing and register. You keep the fish that you catch, take them, whatever. And it's something for them to do. In fact, I had a family that was going up to Havasu that had extra time. They stayed and fished and took their take with them. So it's an opportunity, whether you know about it or whether you just drop in, stop by and have fun.
Can you tell us about the upcoming fishing day?
June 6th this year is part of a National Boating Week. It's held nationwide. So it's been going on for some time. So we decided, hey, let's do it. Let's open up our waters here. Let's bring more people in to see, they can fish our waters. So I went before council and they said, yes, okay, we'll go ahead and, we'll approve this date. There's nothing bad about it. It's all good. I mean, for one day you get to fish for free without having to buy a permit or anything, and just see what we have to offer. Maybe somebody hasn't caught any largemouth bass, so they go out and then they catch the bass. It gets them hooked on fishing, and it gives them something to do. So now, if you like fishing in our area, well, here's the opportunity for you to buy a 1 day, a 3 day, or an annual permit. And you can come back whenever you want. It just spreads the word to other people, hey, Crit's got some good fishing out there, let's go do it. They plan the weekend. Then they buy the camping permit. Oh, I got my OHV. Then they come out and have fun in their OHV. So it just snowballs into other things, other areas that we offer.
Nice, thank you very much. Can you break down the different hunting seasons on the reservation?
I'll let Alex do that.
Yeah, so our most popular season begins in September, and that's the dove season. And that is the most popular time. It's the busiest time. We get hundreds, maybe thousands of people come out from across the country, mostly the southwestern region, to come out here and hunt for dove. They're mostly going after the white wing and the mourning dove. Then, of course, in the fall we have duck season, waterfowl, duck and geese, and then we also have in the fall and winter we have our big game seasons. Those are javelina and deer, but those are for tribal members only. So big game is for the most part tribal members only. For the rest of the year, there are some creatures you're allowed to hunt year round. I believe right now it's just cottontail rabbits and coyotes that are year round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then of course fishing is year round as well. The fish don't really have any specific season for them. We are working on establishing a bighorn season in line with Arizona Game and Fish's season as well as a sandhill crane season. Well, so those are the biggest hunting seasons we have.
Yeah, we had in the past special hunts, and those were the youth only deer hunt, and then the pheasant, and we had a few chucker thrown in there. So that's pretty successful. We have been asked to see if we can do that again. Unfortunately, like everything else, it costs money. But we are looking into trying to get some more pheasant this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we are having our special hunts, which is sandhill crane, like we spoke about, and then also the bighorn sheep drawing. That's going to be in October, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be open reservation wide. Like I said, there's some up by P Mountain, there's some on the California side up by Monument Peak, and then further south, the most popular area is just north of the I-10 and south. So that's going to be for one tribal member and then one non-tribal member. So and the quail too, very popular. I like quail, so,
Yeah, quail's
And-
pretty tasty.
yeah, so,
Yeah, I was about to ask, do either of you have a favorite season out of all those?
Favorite to participate in
Yeah.
or favorite to
Yeah,
work
both
during?
maybe.
Oh, okay. I really like deer season because I get to go out and inspect the deer, inspect for age, gender, weight, on all that stuff, and sometimes check their obex and their lymph nodes, cut them out and send them to a lab to check for chronic wasting disease.
Wow.
That's always really fun.
yeah, and those are the programs that we run. I know you asked a while back, what we do there, and that's one of them. Chronic wasting disease, yes. Every year, we always do that. We keep an eye out to see what kind of diseases animals have, whether it be mammals, whether it be fish, whether it be aviary birds. We do have that. We are working in concert with the Arizona Department of Agriculture to, in case an outbreak happens, we're part of that. So we know, we can give the word out. And then on the website, we do, for livestock, we do give that information out. So anybody that has questions, I would say go to the website first under the tab livestock, and it does come up with several, 3 or 4 different categories of what to look for. If you suspect, hey, my cattle here have holes in their skin, there's some stuff in them, all of a sudden that's a red flag goes up.
Mm.
So, yeah, we need to know about that. So, as far as hunting season for me, I like them all, but I really haven't gone out lately because for me now it's turning into work. Too much time.
I do have a follow-up question with, what did you call it, the disease that deers get?
Chronic wasting disease.
So if there was someone that was living out on the reservation or hunting and they saw, what signs would they see and how would they be able to report to Fish and Game on if they see a deer out there suffering from that disease?
So the most obvious signs of chronic wasting disease are going to be behavioral. And so I don't like to use this term because it's not too accurate, but a popular term of the internet for chronic wasting disease is like zombie deer, because they'll act kind of zombie-like. They'll stagger, they'll have improper motor control, they'll lose all fear of people, and they won't really act right. They won't, bed down properly, they won't drink water properly, they won't eat and forage properly, they won't maintain a lookout because deer are normally super alert as what's going on around them, and they'll be all wobbly, just kind of wandering around. Another sign is emaciation, heavy emaciation because they're not eating. Drooling, heavy drooling, and secretions from the nostrils, heavy drool and snot. And also, they'll start to look almost kind of mangy. They'll start to lose a bunch of their fur due to the stress of the disease. Those are the biggest. Those are the biggest signs of chronic wasting disease.
I think you just gave us our idea for our next horror feature film we're going to produce.
That's what I
Zombie
felt
Deer
like this
of the
weekend.
Crit Reservation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
And something that you wouldn't even really think about that you guys have to deal with. That's
Yeah,
wild.
anybody that's out, that's a deer hunter, they'll usually spot it right off the bat. Say,
Oh, yeah.
man, that's a bad deer. I need to report this.
What's the biggest challenge that you guys face in your department?
Money, funding, but we find ways to work around them. And we have, on our last 3 projects, we found ways to work around it with little to no additional input on funding. We do have one program, a Raptor program, that we're starting. That's going to be power poles that we are going to place along the edge of alfalfa fields, or any kind of fields, any kind of canals that we have access to, because of the gopher problem that we have. Farmers complain about them, the ditch riders complain about them because it breaks the canals, thereby we lose water. It gets a strike against the tribe for so much water that's wasted. So our efforts are to help, is to develop these raptor poles.
Wow.
Our hope is that the hawks and owls would come in and build nests on them along the edge of canals or the edge of fields, to where they would naturally be the predator for those gophers. Gophers see them, they say, oh man, I gotta get out of here. So they'll leave. And that's the main objective that we're having. We did get the power poles from the BIA power poles that they donated to us. And all we're gonna do is go up and locate areas. We already got some planned, and we just need to put them together.
That's so smart.
And it's a way to bring the raptors back, encourage them to stay, because they are a migratory bird. You'll see them probably this time of the year, maybe sooner, they'll be flying in circles. Birds will just go up, we'll start with 3 or 4. The next thing you know, you look, there's probably about 100, 150 birds, and then they migrate off.
Wow.
But we do have our resident birds here. And those are the ones we would like to have more of them stay. But even if they leave, our hopes that they will build nests on these poles, the arms that we're gonna install on them, and they have a place to come back and they remember it. And then one hawk sees it, they see another pole, we hope that's what the plan is. That's the plan, and the hope is, hey, you're gonna take advantage of this.
Yeah, I was just out on the farms the other day and driving in between the canals, and part of the road just went, and I was like,
Yeah.
what was that? Oh, it was a gopher.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Burrowed underneath. So that's,
Well, yeah, burrowing owls do the same thing.
Mm,
But, those are good birds too, because they do eat the rodents.
nice.
So the more we have of them, it's good.
So I have a follow-up question with that. Are there any invasive species of bird or other animal that you guys have to deal with that you kind of wish weren't so permanent here in this area?
Pigeons, no.
So as far as birds go, if you define invasive species by a species that is not native to this area, then things like grackles and crows, not so much. Their populations have exploded over the past 50 years. But they've been here so long that they've become pretty much established into the ecosystem.
Wow.
Unfortunately. Most of the invasive species we deal with here are actually plants. So tamarisk is an extremely invasive plant. I believe it's native to Europe, and it takes really well to desert environments. And it's a fast-growing, highly aggressive plant. So not only will it take over an area, but it will start to expand outward and kind of force all the native plants, like the native mesquite, out of the area. Now, tamarisk can be good for nesting and shelter for animals, but it doesn't provide the same food that mesquite does, and of course, it doesn't have the same ties for cultural value for the tribes that mesquite does. In the water, we have to deal with an invasive weed called spiny naiad. It crops up every year. You'll see it in the lakes and over at the marina by the casino sometimes. These big, long weeds that stretch up from the bottom of the water, and they create like a really, really tight, dense area that fish have trouble getting through. And then the spiny naiad dies, and then the rotting plant material sucks up all the oxygen out of the water, which isn't good for anything else that lives in the water. Those are the main invasive species we have to deal with here. We do have some insects we have to deal with as well. There's the Japanese beetle, which kind of looks like a ladybug. And that's not good for plants. It'll eat at plants. And there's also some disease-carrying flies, especially a New World Screwworm, which is from South America and Central America, which is not good for wildlife or livestock. So we have to manage invasive species usually by, for the plants, it's difficult. It's usually if we can get approval and the manpower and, like Chief Sharp said, the money to do it. It's removal, and usually physical treatment, sometimes chemical if that's approved. And for the other creatures, the other invasive species, I should say, we have to continuously monitor, collect reports from people out in the fields, whether they're hunters, fishermen, farm workers, canal workers. Anybody like that who sees anything out of the ordinary, we take their reports, then we go out and investigate and determine if it's impactful or not. One thing I recently did in the past 2 years was I created these little traps, which were substrate traps for quagga mussel. Quagga mussel is an invasive species of mussel from Africa, and they've been in the Colorado River across the entire watershed, so all the way up north where the headwaters are, all the way down into the Gulf where it dips out. And they're really small. They're like about the size of a dime when they're full grown. They have really hard shells. Their shells are kind of sharp, so if you step on them barefoot, you could cut yourself. And there's not a lot of meat, and they don't taste very good. So there's really nothing good about them. And they spawn like crazy. So the problem for us here, which I guess isn't so much of a problem, is that they will spawn and they'll grow and they'll grow and they'll coat the inside of all the canals and the canal gates, and they'll plug the system. They are present in the canals because the canals pull water directly from the river. Thankfully, they don't seem to take root so much in moving waters, so that's pretty good for most of the canals. But we do have to monitor that, and we advise the canal workers as well as farmers. You can, if you have a problem with those mussels, chemical treatment is your best option, though you have to be really careful when you consider chemical treatment, because that can impact a lot more than what you want it to. Things like copper treatment into the water, because it kills the veligers, the little larvae of the mussels. So yeah, monitoring, inspection, and impact assessment, and then treatment plan is how we deal with invasive species.
There was a story, what was it, a year ago, about something in the water that was harmful for people taking their dogs recreationally in the water. Can you guys touch on that, or is that still an issue? Or
Yeah, the liver fluke. If dogs drank the water or ate something contaminated by the water in the area, they could get these little flatworms in their liver, these little parasites in their liver. Typically non-fatal if treated, but it hits smaller dogs the worst. Not necessarily harmful to people, though we generally advise, if it can make an animal sick, there's always a possibility it can make a person sick, so be careful. And that is still in the river as far as I know. We've been in contact with Arizona Game and Fish and California Game and Fish as they're continuing to monitor the situation as well. As far as we know, it might be a permanent or semi-permanent thing.
oh no.
One of those things that just is seasonal. When the water gets hot, the worms really like the warm water. So when the water gets really hot, that's when it'll start to be more difficult.
And Havasu's dealing with it too, right? I think.
Yes, they are dealing with it as well.
And the problem supposedly started from people not cleaning their boats, or is that true? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that, and it's likely. It's difficult to pin the exact cause with stuff like this, but typically when things are spread from one watershed to another, it's when people do not clean out their watercraft. That's why you'll see it at the marina at the casino. You have to decontaminate your boat every time you pull it out of the water. Even if you're just going to go right back into the same river, it's just good to get into that habit. Pull your watercraft, your boat, your jet ski, your surfboard, whatever, out of the water, and spray it down with high pressure, super hot water. And make sure you get all up inside the intake and everywhere where it's safe for water to get in your boat. Just spray it down, and then let it fully dry, and then repeat the process when you go out again.
Nice. What is the most rewarding part of your job? That's for both of you guys. Start with Woody.
The most rewarding, probably getting to go home at the end of the day.
Survived another day.
Survived another day. But yeah, seeing everything that was set out from an idea is to see it completed. That's the most exciting thing, promising thing, for me. I like to start, if I start a program, I want to see it begin, and I want to see it end or get close to being it. Before I leave the Fish and Game Department, I would like to see everything that we started come to a completion and get full swing and operational stuff. So far, it's been happening. Every program we started, we're either halfway through it or we're 90% getting it done. So that's what I like about this job, is that I got a good group of people, excellent group of employees that go out. I tell them, hey, this is what we're gonna do for the day, you know. Thursdays is our meeting day. Thursdays is the day when every one of our employees are here. That's when we plan for all the labor work to be done, and it gets done. Very little griping, moaning, whatever, because they can see, well, we needed this, let's do it. Except for this guy, he always complains. I don't know why, but.
I'm always complaining.
Yeah, well, we complain too because sometimes we don't get what we should get, you know, we need this and it's just holding us up. If there's any complaints, yeah, that's probably where it's coming from. But that's just like, you know, what I like. It's just seeing something begin and seeing it end.
How about you, Alex? What's the most rewarding part of your job?
Probably seeing a passion for what we do at Fish and Game, as well as just natural resource and wildlife conservation in general, take root into people. That's why I like doing the outreach stuff and stuff like this, is when I talk about this kind of thing, whether it's the day-to-day life of a game warden or the projects we've got going on, as Chief Sharp said. I like to see, or just explaining fun facts about what's on the reservation. I like to see that their eyes kind of light up, especially in the youth when we do our outreach stuff. Their eyes light up. They go, "Wow!" And
I didn't know
then
you
they
guys
start,
did that.
and they start to get really excited and really passionate, which is the best part of the job for me, because it ignites the hope that, you know, maybe whenever the current people who are working there, when they leave, whether they retire or get a better deal somewhere else or whatever, there'll be more people in the future that are going to take over as stewards of wildlife.
That's great.
Yes,
I love
the
that.
whole deal. I mean, we go back and it all starts at home. It all starts with the youth. If we can get the youth involved and interested in what our area line of work is, if they want to come in to do it, then we're here to teach them and help them get a foothold into it. We have tried going out to the local schools, but again, time, manpower, we really haven't been able to. I believe last Saturday, was it Saturday, whatever the first was, we were supposed to have a presentation at the gym. Of course, I was out sick and I didn't get the memo until today. I thought it was going to be later this week, but apparently we already passed. So sorry to whoever put it on.
The ED&T.
Yeah, ED&T people, yeah.
Mhm.
But we are getting some summer youth workers, and they're coming from the school. So the only thing that we can start right now at this time is, if they haven't had contact with us, just with the basics. Say, you want a job, this is what you're gonna have to look forward to in the future. First of all, make sure you can come to work, you know. Everybody does that, you know, if you can't. The basics of learning how to be a good employee is what we're gonna push to. I mean, if you don't have, you know, if they don't know, it's probably not their fault, but we need to be the one to educate them. The same way, like how Alex said with the kids. We tell them what we do, and all of a sudden, wow, I didn't know you guys did that stuff. You know, I don't see you out there. Well, it's because we're doing it. You know, it may not be that you're supposed to be in school, first of all, but it's either time of a day on a weekend when you're doing something else, or it's at nighttime and stuff. So we do adjust our hours to where we work after hours at night and early in the morning, because like I said, we don't have the staff to pull a complete night shift, but we do. There's always a way around things, and that's my mentality. If we can't do it, we're gonna find a way, and we've been successful at doing it. So.
Nice. Woody, tell us about your team and what are you most proud about regarding them?
Well, I've got a staff of, how many is he? Alex, chief, 2 sergeants, and 6 people. So just for being a department of 6 people, we do a lot. And I'm proud of them because they always show up. They always do what's required of them. Very little bickering amongst each other, you know. And what the good thing is too is that they can joke between themselves, between the employees. I mean, you get along. It's like a big family that we got. I entice them, but I afford them a day a month, you know, for And it's not through tribal funding, it's through a potluck deal. We all get together. I give them the information, you know, what's going on every week, you know, what to look forward to. Give me your, and it's a back and forth things. Everything I'm giving you is what I was told. Now I need to have your input. What's wrong? Let me know where we're lacking. And Alex knows this because I have him lead off the meetings every Thursday. Is that tell us what's going on, and then we add into it, and then people jump in. So it's a back and forth deal. Where it's not just me saying you have to do this. I want it done. You're tasked with the mission. It's your responsibility to see it's completed. It's not that way. It's a back and forth deal because I even get in there and I work. Although they say, Chief, get out of the way, you're messing things up. You know, at least I put my 2 cents in there and do it. I'm proud of them because they really work hard. They do what they're supposed to do. Just like Alex, I mean, I tell him, I ask him, tell, whatever. I say, hey, this is a project coming up. I need you to, can you do this or whatever? And he'll say yay or nay or I need help. And that's what's good about it, is that everybody gets involved in everybody else's job. But you don't step on each other's toes. There's always a leader somewhere. My 2 sergeants are the leaders, but maybe one of the employees has a better concept of how to do this, and we look to them to help guide us through what's going on. So I just like that they get together, they work together, they have fun together, and they all come to work, and all the missions that we got, they're all completed. And it's just going forward, it's building the department up. We never knew nothing about a website. This is my website, web designer, whatever, and hey, do you know anything about it? Well, no, but we all learn together, and that's the department. We learn together, and we build together, so. That's how I mean, there's a lot, probably better ways I can describe them. I mean, we could sit here all day telling you about my department, how good they are. But I'm just proud that they all show up and they all do what they're supposed to do.
I love that. That's a great answer. For both you guys, let's start with Alex. What do you find most special about the Crit Reservation?
I would say the sense of community. You know, when I first moved down here, I was kind of, you know, new in town, never even, aside from driving through a few, never even been to a reservation before. So I was on my toes a little bit, you know, walking on eggshells a bit. But once I got established, I was very swiftly welcomed. And everybody is, you know, very, they joke around, but they're very kind. They're always willing to help. If you complain, you're like, yeah, there's, you know, my truck broke down. There's always someone who's like, oh, I know a guy or I know a family member, he could fix your truck up for cheap. You know, that kind of sense of a community is what I find most special around here. You know, whether they're being super friendly or if they're complaining or if they want something or if they don't want something, there's always this sense of familiarity around everyone. Everybody's, you know, more or less comfortable around each other. I think that's really special. You don't really see that, especially in a bigger city.
Very nice. How about you, Woody? What do you think the most special thing is?
Just like Alex was saying, it's well, first of all, I have to say I love the sunsets. I love the sunrises. You
They're
get up in the
beautiful.
morning, they're so beautiful. Yes, you know what? I never thought about it. When my wife came out, I said, "Oh, you're always taking pictures, but you got a beautiful area here. This place is. I like the sunsets, the sunrises." And my dad, when he was alive, would say, "You know, you got a very good eye for photography." And she would show him her photos on the phone and prints them out. And he's just the same way. You know, I took it for granted. I lived here. I've seen it all my life, so I never really thought about it. But one thing I can say is that, yeah, sunsets and sunrises is what takes me. But also the other thing is, like Alex says, is community. I don't remember telling you, but I did tell Tess. She's left. She was from back east, from Baltimore. I said, in order to work here, I said, you need to get a sense of the people that you serve. So during her FDO period, field training officer period, I said, go over to the museum and talk to Valerie. I said, you need to learn about the people that you serve. There's 4 tribes. There's Mojave, Hopi, Navajo, and Chemehuevi. I said, there's sections out at the museum, learn about them, and then learn about the families that are here on the reservation. Because the more you know them, know about them, when you show up at their door, they may be angry, but you understand who they are, why they called you, and you treat them a certain way, then they'll more or less accept you. Because most people, when they get here, they don't know who they're serving. It's a paycheck, it's 8 to 5, I'm going home or whatever. I said, don't do that, not with this department. I said, learn who your people are. Learn how you give them services and speak to them. Don't be rude. Sometimes you have to, but don't always, just reach out and touch them. I mean, it's probably learning who you are is what, when my staff goes and they do that, that's what makes me proud of them too. Other than the sunsets and sunrise I take for granted, yeah. I see it every morning and I'm like, wow, even at nighttime,
Yeah.
the stars. I remember working graveyards, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just sitting there looking at the stars and the constellations. Just what we can see, somebody in the city can't see because of the lights. And then you take that and look at horizon against Riverside Mountain, you see the stars behind it. It's an awesome sight. And you look east. It's the same way, so I don't know if I really answered your question right, but
No, you did.
That's what I like about this place.
Can either of you guys give us a funny or crazy story or incident or something that happened on your watch?
I don't know, not right offhand. Can you?
Oh, I'm trying to think of one.
Now you're making me think. That's like working.
Pop quiz.
Yeah, I failed.
Let's see. Well,
Do anybody ever fall out of a boat or almost step on a snake?
No.
Well, I'm thinking
Gosh.
that first day that bear was here was pretty crazy. Yeah, I know it spiraled out pretty fast, but that first day was crazy for me because I'd only been hired a month before, so I didn't even have that many hours under my belt working.
You were barely ready for it.
Exactly. Uh-huh. Hey, I wasn't ready for such a grisly situation. I mean,
Really clawed your way out of it.
Right.
Exactly. No, it was an American black bear, but obviously it wasn't a happy ending. But the start was pretty crazy because all of a sudden they're ringing me up. They're calling me like, hey, you know about bears? I'm like, yeah, I grew up in Colorado. There's a lot of bears here. They're like, all right, get in the OHV. What's going on? They're like, no time. Get in the OHV. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
bear. You know
waiting
what?
there.
For that, I was out of town and I got the call. Actually, from one of the residents down the valley. He calls me and he goes, "Hey, Woody, there's a bear here. What is this? Am I seeing the things right?" I said, "What are you talking about, a bear?" So he sends me a video. And sure enough, right there at Four Corners, there was the bear running along that little canal bank.
Wow.
It was crazy. It's just unexpected, yeah. So that was a strange thing to happen.
Mhm.
So, and I think right before that, we did get some training information about bears. I know I did. And I said, well, this is a response, interagency response. So I said, well, here's what you do. So after that, we started figuring things out. So it worked out. But yeah, that was a crazy day. That was a Sunday. I was on my way home. I was sitting over at a restaurant, and I get the call. So that was the one strange thing that happened. Yes.
Wow. If you guys could give the childhood versions of yourself some advice, and you can make it professional, you can make it personal, whatever, wherever you want to take it, what would you tell younger versions of yourselves?
What would I tell a younger version of myself is to keep straight, because I did almost go to that dark side, but I had good parents. I had good upbringing, so I just kept going. The other thing would be, hey, maybe you do need to go to school, and I never did. get a secondary education. I got a high school, went for a trade school for a year, didn't like it, and ended up going in the military and had fun there. So it wasn't until I got out where, I guess, when I got into the law enforcement field and I learned more about this reservation, I would say, you know what, listen to your father's words and do what you're going to do young, but come back. And what I really like doing now, which I got into the business too late, was become a full-time farmer.
Mm.
Because back then they were tough, but it was more profitable. I mean, everybody's about money, but I'm just about having a good time and just living and just seeing things done, and just being myself, just having fun is what I would like to do. And I'm having fun now.
That's great.
Although I do have my headaches every now and then. But yeah.
How about you, Alex? What would you tell younger Alex? Beware bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably tell my younger self, don't be so timid. I was a very quiet and timid kid, pretty much all the way through high school. Don't be afraid to speak up. If you're confident in something, let that carry you through, and don't be afraid to say no. Don't be a jerk, but don't be afraid to say no. Don't be so timid. Have more confidence in yourself.
That's great. Woody, what qualities do you look for in an employee at Crit Fishing Game?
Somebody that shows up, comes to work, and do what they're supposed to do. Don't get in trouble. I mean, give it 100%, and just be yourself. Because this is probably one of the easiest and best jobs that anybody could have. Because where else can you go fish during your day, and it counts, right? As a creel record, because you're fishing to see what's biting, what lures you're using, whatever. And when you go out to hunt, you're seeing what's out there. And when you hunt, well, is this animal okay that I shot? You open it up and there's no worms in it, it's not diseased, but then you go home and you consume it, both of them. I mean, you have a good time. Then you see the ecology, you get to see places every day change. Just have fun, just go out and meet people and know who your people are that you're serving. And the qualities I look for in employees is somebody that can do that, but keeping, problems or whatever. Everybody has problems. I have them. Just don't bring them to work, handle them, but just come to work and do what's relaxing. If anybody can do that, relax at work. This is one of those jobs where you can't, you still do the purpose that you're out there for. You're a presence, you're a command authority, you do your surveys, you find out what's wrong, you find out any wildlife problems, any ecological problems. All this stuff is done, but you can still have fun doing it. And if somebody has this kind of job that can stick to that mentality and also report it to where this is what I did today, and then somebody says, no, you didn't do that yesterday, you weren't even around, you can just pull those out and say, here it is.
You got the receipts.
You covered yourself, but at the same time, you know what, that same day I caught this big-mouth bass in the river. There was a fighter, but you still did a job because it's reported as a statistic to me that, you've been there, and people seen you out.
Sounds like a dream job. I love
Yeah, it is. And when you look at it that way and can do it and still do what's required on paper, then you should have very little problem. You should come to work and it should be fun getting that paycheck. Some jobs, people go and they say, oh, I need more money. This ain't getting, I need, whatever, but then problems, you create your own problems. Here, you can create your day. It can either be a bad day or it can be a good day. You make what the day is when you come and work for this department. And if there's an employee that can make a good day out of it and still do everything that's required, That's the kind of person I'm not.
Have you ever had a supernatural or extraterrestrial experience on the reservation? And can you please tell us about it?
I was working back in 98, I guess, 97, and I was parked up on Riverside Mountain. And this is like we used to work till 10 o'clock at night in those days. I was there listening to a Cowboys-Panthers football game, Sunday night, had the night game. Yeah, whatever, and I just happened to be looking up at the stars here as I had a half hour to go before I came back, so I parked. And I was looking at the stars, and all of a sudden you see this light appear all of a sudden coming up north. Well, I said, there goes a satellite, and then all of a sudden it stops for like maybe 30 seconds, and then it takes off going east. So I don't know if it was NASA reprogramming a route, if it was the military doing whatever, or if it was a UFO. I don't know. But, that was one thing that I seen at nighttime when I was working with fishing game.
Maybe the ET was a football fan.
Might have been, listened in and said, oh yeah, Panthers won, That was a good game though. I don't know what year that was. It might have been 97 something, whatever.
It seems like there's a lot of UFO stories out here.
I hear about them. I've never seen them, but yeah, I'm a believer. I like listening to UFO stories. And I don't know if Alex hears me though. At lunchtime during my break, I'll put on YouTube and I hear, I'll search UFO deals.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh, I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Alex? Have you seen, felt, or experienced anything strange or paranormal out here?
Oh. I think the most striking thing I could think of for that, paranormal wise, is it's my second week working. I had just moved down here, and one of the things I love to do whenever I visit a new place or move to a new place is explore the local area. So I have a general lay of the land in my head. And I had moved down to essentially a substation down there near Ehrenberg, right by the border of the reservation on the south end, way down on Mojave Road. And right across the street is that mesquite bosque in there. And being a fishing game employee, I took advantage of the privilege that I can go out there and just get into the mesquite bosque whenever I want, essentially, as long as I don't do nothing wrong. All I was doing was exploring. I had, at the time, my personal vehicle was this Jeep Grand Cherokee, so it took to the washboard roads and some of the sturdier dirt washes out there just fine. I had gone in really, really deep. If it wasn't for my GPS signal, I definitely would have been lost. It was a beautiful night, full moon, so I could have a good, clear vision thanks to all that light from the full moon. I think, you know what, I want to turn the engine off, turn my headlights off, and then just scan the area, see if I can see anything running around. Walk out of my car a bit, find a good rock, sit down, and I'm just scanning the area and listening. Thinking, what's the largest thing I can see out here? Mountain lion? Mountain lion doesn't want anything to do with me. I'm fine. So I'm just sitting there, scanning. Occasionally get the flashlight, look around if I need better vision. So I'm just listening to the birds, hear the owls, the crickets, all the other insects, typical sounds of the wilderness out there. And it's all very calm and relaxing, so I can feel kind of that anxiety of being alone out in the wilderness start to fade, and I become more and more comfortable. And I see some things, an occasional rabbit or a little nighthawk or an owl just fly by real quick. And I'd gotten so comfortable and immersed in the surroundings that I pick up on this change almost immediately as it happens. Everything went dead silent.
Uh-oh.
The birds shut up. All the bugs shut up. Now my first thought was, there might be a mountain lion nearby.
Yeah.
So when there's a big predator, everything goes quiet. So I get out my flashlight and I scan it around, thinking I might see eye shine or something. I didn't see any eye shine, and I'm standing, I turn all the way around, full 360 degrees, don't see anything. Turn the light off, wait a bit longer. The silence drags on for a full, it's maybe about 8 minutes. And Now that anxiety and worry is starting to creep back up. The hairs on the back of my neck and on my arms start standing up. I'm starting to get goosebumps. So I think maybe it's a good idea I should go back to the car. I turn around and I turn my flashlight on, make sure I don't trip on nothing. And then I scan something way back and to the right of my vehicle. It's about 300 yards away, so it's pretty far. And I'm scanning, and then I catch it. It's eye shine. But it's not the right color for coyote, bobcat, or mountain lion.
Oh no.
And so I'm frozen, just staring at this eye shine and trying not to make any sudden movements or any noise. And these eyes, whatever they belong to, were just staring back at me. And it was probably only like maybe 10 seconds, but it felt like hours. I'm staring at this eye shine. It's staring back at me. I see it bob up, and it would probably be up to about my chest or maybe eye level with me from way down on the ground. So it was low, and then it was up real tall, and then crouched a little bit, and then disappeared further into the tree line and the brush. I was like, nope. Immediately got back in my car and drove back home, locked all the doors, shut all the windows, and told myself, unless it's a work assignment, probably shouldn't wander around the Mesquite Bosque alone at midnight during a full moon ever again.
That's amazing. So real quick before we end, is there anything lastly you guys want to say, or anything you want to tell us about your department or how the community or people can support you guys?
No, all I can say is that, we came from, how'd you say it, a very basic department to now where we're advancing more. We're into the internet stage where we got our own website. Now we're building up our own, using our people to, we're doing projects, new ranges, new raptors, the boat club. We're just advancing, and look on the website if you have any questions. Put your comments down if you need any, if you want to submit us photos of anything, fishing, hunting, out there, or just having fun, send it to us. There is a place on the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thing called Submit Your Photos. And we'll
Nice.
go ahead and we'll get it, and then we'll post it onto the website, because we want to see people, what they do on the reservation while they're here. That can be local tribal members, that can be our local community members, and then out of towners, somebody that's vacationing. We want to see what they're doing. So send it to that website so we can post it and everybody else can see.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. How about you, Alex? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, if you plan to do any hunting or fishing this year, whether it's dove season, deer season, whatever, check out the website. You can buy your permits on the website and get them early. You buy them online and get them now. You can just come in and start hunting, start fishing, and you can skip the line, because the lines are going to be long when September rolls around for big hunting season. So look on the website, get your permits now, and skip the line.
If there's any businesses out there that would like to sell our permits, a physical copy, they're more than welcome to, but I would much rather have them go to the website and have us put their business on our website. Anything that's hunting, fishing, camping related would work. Or any business that just wants to get out there, we'll do that. Because we're about establishing a rapport and relationship with the community.
Tell us about your tribal background and what is the most native thing about you?
Gotta figure that one out. My tribal background, of course, it's of Mojave descent. Something native about me. I tend to be, shy when I meet people, because natives, that I know, they'll be standing there like, oh, I don't know, or don't want to talk to you. I don't know you. I'm like that sometimes. I'll just, when I get home, I'm just me. How would they say it, is in the olden days here, sometimes I eat with my hands. I go old school. Sometimes I don't use utensils, because I grew up, sometimes you don't have a fork or whatever, you're out there, because we used to go with my mom and dad out to, when we used to collect wood for food and for heat during the winter times. I would just go out there and Mom would make the tortillas and we eat by hand. So that's probably the most native thing about me, just that. And I still do it to this day. I don't know if Alex does it or anybody else, but that's just me.
So thank you so much, Woody and Alex, for coming in on our very first episode of the Crit Podcast. And remember to the listeners and viewers out there that we would like to have an open naming contest for the podcast. And we'd like to know what you think that this should be named, because it's special for the people on the Crit reservation so that they can know this is for them, and the larger public can know who Crit is and what they are all about. So thank you for tuning in, and you will see the next episode coming up shortly.